My name is Trey. I was born to Almalon and Tressa as prince of the planet Triforia. It was a relatively peaceful planet, located on the borders of the Andromeda Galaxy. But as my father taught me from a young age, every great leader must always be prepared for war. But I don't understand, Father. We haven't even had a minor conflict in almost 6 decades. Why must we continue to train?
Because, my son, I need to know that my home, my people, and our family shall always be protected, should the worst ever come.
Protection from whom? Father, in your lives, have you ever even known war?
No, but even beings as long-lived as us will pass on eventually. And when I do, I need to know that you are schooled in both the way of peace and the way of war. These are dark times, Trey. The warlord Zedd has conquered most of the neighboring galaxy, and the machine empire controls what remains. One or both may decide to turn their ire towards us. And when they do, we must be prepared. You must be prepared.
My father always carried a staff with him. It was a long staff, with a black rod and silver blade that could be extended, purely ceremonial in my mind. It had a red jewel at the top, and right below it, the 6-sided gold symbol of the King of Triforia.
You're staring again, my son.
Sorry?
My staff. You're gazing at it in thought again.
Curiosity, Father. Everyone on the planet knows and adores you. You're in perfect health, and you've only even regenerated once. Why bother carrying around that old stick?
When you're older and more understanding, my son, its secrets and power will be told to you when it's your turn to lead the planet, while I enjoy my retirement. Now, let us check in on your mother and the others. I believe they are in the training yard.
I followed my father to the training yard and saw 4 of our best warriors of the King's Guard, alongside my mother, Zeo Red, about to perform the warrior's ceremony.
For the wisdom of the jury, for the love of the people, and for the glory of Triforia!
I watched as the 5 warriors brought up the braces on their arms and crossed them, transforming into powered, colorful suits, each based off a symbol meaningful to Triforia: the oval of welcomeness, the oblongs of justice, the triangle of wisdom, the rectangle of stability, and the star of power. Upon signing up to be in service of Triforia, each warrior is sorted into which branch they believe is most important to continue the success and safety of Triforia. Members of the royal family, like my father and myself, must go through all 5 branches, then complete the 6th royal branch to prove that they can be a righteous leader.
My love! Good to see you all have become acclimated to the power. Have any of you had any issues?
No, my husband. Everyone is clear on their duties and have been keeping up on their training given the rising threats from the stars. We did have one question, sire. We've heard stories of the Zedorians having giant mechas to invade planets. How are we to fight that?
Indeed. Our weapon experts have been working on something for just that purpose. I'm told it's called Pyramidas, based on structures our scouts observed on a primitive planet in the Milky Way galaxy. I am to be given a status report after this meeting. I'm glad you're all coming together nicely. However, I do have a request for you all. It has come time for this year's recharging ceremony. As such, I'm going to need to reassemble the Zeo Crystal to charge it, along with the Royal Golden Power. Meet me in the chamber in about an hour. May as well take advantage of the peace while we have it. We may not get another chance.
Power down!
As quickly as the suits were summoned, the suits disappeared in colorful flashes. The warriors salute my father and leave, except for Gurion, the Zeo Green Guard.
Would you like to join me in the ceremony later, my son?
Really, Father? Yes!
Good. Go join your mother for now. I have business with Zeo Green. I shall meet you soon.
I quickly ran around the corner out of eyesight, but I made sure to listen as best I could to the conversation my father and Gurion were having. If I were to be a proper king later in life, I should be well informed after all.
How has Project Pyramidas been coming along, Zeo Green?
Very well, sire. Would you like to take it for a test run?
Yes, I would. Before the ceremony. I've heard rumblings that either Zedd or Mondo might invade any day now, and we will need weapons. If this one is successful, then we can move forward with mechs for the rest of you.
I didn't see him, but heard as another approached the two, and handed Gurion a datapad with a serious murmured tone.
Sire, we've received a video message. It's from an automaton calling himself Prince Sprocket. He says that he's heir to the Machine Empire.
Hand me the datapad, Zeo Green. Let us see this prince.
Attention, Triforian fleshies! I am Prince Sprocket, heir to the Machine Empire. In 3 of your solar days, we will arrive to see and judge your planet to see if it is worthy of acceptance into the Machine Empire. Be ready for my arrival.
In Zeo's name! We are not ready. It is too soon.
Shall I cancel the joining ceremony?
No. No. If the crystal is not charged, then neither it nor my gold powers will be of any use to us. But we must be swift. Proceed as planned.
Yes, my king.
And inform the other guardsmen, but no one else. We don't need a panic.
As you command, sire.
And with those words, I ran before I could be discovered, all the while hoping that the machines were far more diplomatic and peaceful than their reputation portrayed. And as much as I tried to put it out of my mind, I could not as I reached the ceremony chamber.
And where were you, young prince? Up to no good, I bet.
I was in need of waste relief, Mother. My apologies if I kept you waiting.
I see. Well then, son. Come and witness the Zeo ceremony.
After an hour, I was led into a small room with a pedestal in the middle, the other warriors and my mother around me like bodyguards, adorned in colorful ceremonial robes, each in their own colors. A man in a black and gold armor walked in, holding all 5 bracers, along with my father's staff. He began chanting, as my mother leaned down to me.
How glad I am to have you here for the first time, my son. Now that you are of age, it is your duty to witness what will one day be your birthright.
Yes, Mother. Forgive me, but who is Ninjori? Gurion moved to stand next to me, whether to quench my curiosity or to quickly silence me. Now, I'll never know.
The great power provider, Naren Ninjori, found the planet of Triforia eons ago and helped it to flourish. The Zeo Crystal that we all draw our power from is a piece of Triforian crystal that the elves of Triforia and Ninjori crafted together. The elders convinced Ninjori that the royal family and its protectors would watch over the crystal and use its power only to protect the planet and its inhabitants. The crystal actually grows with power over time. After securing Triforia, Ninjori left, returning to his base to work on other power sets for other defenders, using the Zeo powers as a base.
Why us? And what other power sets?
Because, Master Trey, the crystal was designed to work only with Triforian bodies. Our bodies and spirits are very resilient up until our 3rd regeneration. As for the other sets, I am not sure. Ninjori was a secretive being with his own reasonings.
My people live 3 lives with 3 faces. It is that nature which gives us and our planet its name. Each lifespan lasting almost 300 Earth years. When the time comes, we enter a regeneration period and de-age a certain number of years. By the 3rd and final regeneration, our bodies are no longer strong enough to wield power as great as the Zeo Crystal, or work as part of the labor force, which is why most of the mentors on the planet are in their 3rd cycle. The retirement age, if you will. But once we expend those 3 lives, we pass on, just like every other living thing. We may live long, but we aren't immortal. Indeed, if we are killed before our time, then the regeneration is triggered early, and we start regressing. Triforians must be careful not to become mortally injured too early in their life, lest they run the risk of de-aging out of existence. It's a double-edged sword.
The chants are finished. Look, Master Trey!
My attention is turned back to the figure in the black and gold royal armor. Then suddenly bright lights started coming from the braces. Pink, yellow, blue, green, then red, with a sixth golden light coming from the staff. Then in a flash, a crystal sits on the pedestal, each color aside from the gold, fluctuating throughout the crystal. The black and gold armor flashed away to reveal. Father? My father placed the royal staff beside the Zeo Crystal, then turned to us.
The ceremony is complete. The Zeo Crystal is currently recharging, and the golden power is watching over it. Should anyone not of pure heart and strong will, whose souls are tainted by evil, try to take it, it will defend itself. Hopefully we don't need the power anytime soon. Now, let us retire for the night.
We all bowed toward my father and left to our quarters. That night, I laid in my bed and contemplated everything I was told and saw that day. Little did I know, Triforia as I knew it had seen its last sunset. What's going on? What is that? Is that the alarm? Suddenly, the door to my room was thrusted open by my father carrying the golden staff.
Trey, we have to go now. The Machine Empire are here. You need to go to a safe place. Go to Tressa and the other Zeo warriors. They'll protect you.
But he said we had 3 days. I looked outside my window to see a gigantic airship with the words Machine Empire Ship Baranoia written on it in our language, perhaps to taunt us, with a small robot's face projecting from the outside of it, using some kind of technology that I couldn't comprehend at the time.
Attention, Triforian fleshies! The great Prince Sprocket of the mighty Machine Empire has decided you not worthy to ally with. As such, you will forfeit any and all power you have and prepare for ascension. But should you choose to resist, know that I'm not expecting much out of you. So when you do die, at least make it fun.
A worried look came across my face as I turned towards my father, clutching the staff harder than I have ever seen. Father, what about you? My father backed away from me, crossing his arms, holding the golden power staff in hand, and he shouted,
Royal Golden Power, protect me!
My father's royal armor appeared once again around him, and then he disappeared in a golden flash. I quickly tried to follow him, but to no avail. As soon as I stepped outside, I saw the horror, smoke, destruction, the death everywhere. My home city burning before my eyes. The cogs marched all around with no mercy, no fear, no emotion at all. All the while their small master's laugh echoed all around from the speakers on his ship. No, you robot sons of bitches, no! I shoulder tackled one of the cogs to the ground as the other raised its faceplate and fired some kind of laser at me and its companion, not caring for the other's well-being. I yelled out in agony, partly from my broken shoulder tackling what felt like a steel wall, and partly from the laser beam that grazed my face, leaving a deep cut down my upper right side. If I were any closer, the beam would have blown my head off. Just as the mechanized soldier marched toward me, a golden flash appeared, running straight through the cog, destroying it and then forming on the ground into... Father? I stood up, blood dripping down the left side of my face and holding my right broken shoulder. My father held up the golden staff, and with a shine, it somehow healed my shoulder and the cut above my eye, leaving a scar.
Now, my son, to the other Zeo warriors. Time to defend our planet and the Zeo Crystal.
The Zeo Crystal. Maybe I can use its power.
Pyramidas, I summon thee.
Suddenly, I felt the ground shake. I looked over in the distance and saw a gigantic mecha construct, its shape that of a three-dimensional triangle. It then rose up to stand on two legs like a humanoid and fired upon the Machine Empire forces. My father then leaped impossibly high and into the gigantic mech as it towered above our highest structures. It was then I heard my father's voice coming from it.
Machine Empire, flee now or be destroyed by the might of Triforia and Pyramidas.
Yes, Father! Now to the crystal! I hurried to the chamber, but along the way, what I saw horrified me even further. Each of the Zeo warriors were dead, either in or on the way to the chamber itself. Robotic soldier parts and wires scattered everywhere. The warriors' bodies were not glowing, a clear sign of Triforian regeneration, which means that they died mid-regen, killed again before they could reform. The powers weren't accessible in time, as refracturing the crystal was a long and very dangerous process. I thanked the heavens that day that my father had been able to remove his staff in time in order to make use of it. But the Kingsguard Zeo warriors were not the only ones to fall that day. Mother, no, Mom, no. I ran to the lifeless body of my mother, fallen over the crystal. With tears in my eyes, I let her down to the ground slowly and took her ceremonial cape, which had been burned to almost nothing. But a whirring sound turned my head to the corner, as the robot that called itself Sprocket was somehow still alive.
You there, flesh heap! I am Prince Sprocket of the Machine Empire, and we will take that crystal and put it to better use than you fleshies.
Tough talk for one so small. I charged for him, but stopped as his flanking cogs opened fire on me. I dove for cover.
Target locked.
It was there that I saw my mother's sword. I picked it up and remembered my training as I charged in. I do not know how, but I just let my body guide me, perhaps guided by the crystal itself. And before I knew it, the cogs were all down. The little prince began to panic.
Ah! What do you think you're doing, you worthless fleshy?
I made short work of removing his head. But as I picked up the severed head of Sprocket, and before I could consider what to do with it, it spoke again.
Impressive display, fleshy. But you can never stop the Machine Empire. You have 3 lives. We are infinite.
With that, the head started growing cables, trying to latch onto my body. I threw the head into the wall as hard as I could. It broke. The small one's life ended. For now. But soon a sound. A transmission came from his lifeless head.
Machine forces. This is King Mondo. King Almadon is dead.
What?
His weapon was neutralized. Sprocket, I'm not receiving you. If you are online, then report in. All forces, get this Zeo Crystal and prepare to retreat. Zedd has arrived. We cannot afford to fight a battle on 2 fronts. Full retreat. I say again, full retreat. And if any unit finds the body of my son, retrieve it and the crystal. Now!
I ran out of the chamber with tears in my eyes. I knew that I needed to find my father. If what the machine said was true, then I was Triforia's final hope. I ran to the downed remains of Pyramidas, unable to comprehend the power that brought it down. As I reached what appeared to be an access hatch, I saw the bodies of destroyed cogs, and I found my father within, still in his power armor. I carried the body for almost 4 Earth miles back to our royal chamber, and rested him where he should be, where he can rest, on his throne. With my hands shaking, I took the golden staff, with the armor vanishing from my father right as I took it. As I did, I also noticed 5 colored gems near the throne, each with a symbol of the Zeo warriors inscribed on them. But before I could grab them, I heard an explosion in the distance. In the direction of the ceremonial chamber, I took off for it, running into the chamber just in time to see a humanoid man in silver armor, wielding a staff with a Z on the end, flanked by 5 guards. He was walking towards the fused Zeo Crystal. Whoever you are, you should be warned. That crystal is protected by strong magic. If you touch it, it will destroy you. Now, leave!
Well, Mondo sure made this easy for me, didn't it? That garb, that staff. The king is reported dead, so Prince Trey, I presume. My name is Zedd, Lord Zedd, and I have come for the crystal. But it was kind of you to bring the king's staff to me also. Hand it over, boy, now!
Never! I would die first.
That can be arranged.
I watched in fear as Zedd charged his staff, then shot a bolt of red electricity at me. I dodged right at the last second. Upon standing up, I feel something in my right hand. The golden power staff is resonating with me. Well, if it worked for the king, why shouldn't it work for the heir? I crossed my arms over each other and screamed from the bottom of my soul, "Royal Golden Power, activate!" In a flash, my father's golden armor appeared on myself, and it made me feel stronger, faster, wiser. In what appeared to be mere seconds, I turned myself into a golden beam and charged right through the soldiers, destroying all of them at once. I stopped myself right afterward, then immediately fell to the ground screaming, hit by a powerful blast from Zedd. As I fell to the ground in pain, Zedd bent down and stared directly into my helmet, as if he was staring directly into my soul, and I saw him smirk beneath his visor.
Too cocky for your age, young man. Looks like your body can't hold all that power. Luckily for you, mine can.
Zedd grabbed the golden power staff out of my hand, and the armor vanished as soon as he did. He proceeded to walk over to the throne and grab the gems that I saw earlier, and I watched in horror as he decided to walk towards the Zeo Crystal.
I have need for workers in my empire. Your people will do. And I think having you serve me will be a great symbol to demoralize them. But first...
He reached for the whole Zeo Crystal. No, don't do it! It will... And with that, everything faded to white as I lost consciousness. As I awoke, I was in chains alongside other captured Triforians, or what was left of them. Then the door opened, and I was pulled to my feet by the guards. I was led out to my own private cell where I was left for days. Barely any food or water, just enough to make sure I didn't die, but weak enough that I couldn't fight back. But finally, one day came a guard.
He wants to see you.
Who?
Speak when spoken to, trash.
As I writhed on the ground, it occurred to me that my voice sounded different. Younger? I hadn't bothered to speak for days, so it was only now that I noticed.
I was told to keep you alive until he was ready. That time has come. Truth is, we thought you were dead when you first arrived. Then you started to glow. Some weird shit you people do according to one of their other superior Triforians.
Wait, I regenerated?
What did I just say?
I'm sorry, you said he wanted to see me?
Yes, you're lucky he survived, or you would have regenerated yourself right out of the airlock.
I was taken from my cell into a throne room of some kind. There, I saw for the first time in the shadows Lord Zedd in his current form. No skin, only bare muscle, held together by a silver exoskeleton and tubes that constantly hydrated and cleaned his skin, kept it free from infection. I could not believe it. How was he still alive?
Yes, it is I. Look what your crystal did to me, Triforian.
I tried to warn you.
And for that you still live in my service. I see that you have experience in piloting and star vessels. Good. I will make use of you as a symbol and as a servant. How you live from now on is up to you. Serve me well and live well. Serve me poorly and you will suffer. One way or another, you will be kept alive to pay for what you did to me. Now, tell me about the Zeo Crystal.
The machines killed those that knew. I was only beginning to learn of the crystal. I do not think there is much that I could tell you that you do not know already.
Tell me anyway. And from this moment forth, you are no longer Trey of Triforia. You are JE77. Let us call you Jeff for short.
And that is the truth of it. That's why I am here. I believe I can help unlock the secrets of the crystal, allow you to use it to become the Zeo Warriors, or as you may call them, Zeo Rangers.
Well, son, that's a hell of a tale. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some calls to make.
Power Rangers, the special episode, Revelations of Gold. Zach Adamson as Trey of Triforia. Shane Cochran as King Almilan. PJ Argento as Gurion. Glenda Villamar as Tressa. Rebecca Olivia Hodges as Sprocket. Dom Sorless as King Mondo. Omri Rose as Lord Zedd. Ty Brunner as the Zedd Guard. Opening theme by Silver Sage. Closing credits music by Niall Stenson. Sound effects used from freesound.org, pond5.com, and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Folly. And a personal thank you to everybody who inspired me to work on this and release this. Coming soon, Power Rangers Zeo.